5 days in 1952, the air in London became toxic enough to kill. Not in factories, not in isolated accidents. In the streets, in homes, in hospital beds. People did not flee. They stayed where they were and kept breathing. By the time the fog lifted, thousands were dead. Nothing new had been introduced into the city. The same coal, the same chimneys, the same routines. The only difference was that, for once, the system had nowhere left to send its waste. For more than a century, London had been the capital of coal. Its factories, homes, and power stations burned day and night. Smoke was not a warning. It was proof of productivity. By 1952, London had been breathing coal smoke for generations. Fog and soot were ordinary. Chimneys defined the skyline. The fog did not roll in by accident. It formed because an entire city had learned to burn the wrong fuel at the wrong scale. In December 1952, London stopped breathing. For 5 days, a dense yellow-black smog settled over the city, reducing visibility to a few meters. Buses halted. Ambulances failed to reach hospitals. People walked into the Thames because they could not see the river. By the time the air cleared, thousands were dead, not from panic, not from disaster in the dramatic sense, from air. Post-war Britain relied heavily on low-grade, sulfur-rich coal. Higher quality coal was exported to earn foreign currency. What remained for domestic use burned dirtier and produced more sulfur dioxide and particulates. In early December, a cold spell settled over London. To stay warm, residents burned more coal than usual. Power stations increased output, smoke thickened, and the atmosphere sealed. A temperature inversion formed, a meteorological condition in which a layer of warm air traps colder air beneath it. Normally, warm air rises, carrying pollutants upward and dispersing them. During an inversion, vertical movement stops. The city's emissions accumulated at street level. Sulfur dioxide reacted with moisture in the fog to form sulfuric acid droplets. Coal soot mixed with these droplets, creating a toxic aerosol that entered lungs with every breath. The smog was not just thick, it was chemically aggressive. Hospitals reported a surge in respiratory distress. Elderly patients with chronic bronchitis deteriorated rapidly. Healthy adults developed chest pain and violent coughing. Livestock at Smithfield Market suffocated. The city's crematoria became overwhelmed. Early government estimates suggested around 4,000 excess deaths. Later analyzers placed the number closer to 12,000, with tens of thousands more experiencing long-term illness. The critical detail is that the deaths did not occur during the fog alone. They continued in the weeks after it lifted. Damage had already been done. Microscopic particles had inflamed airways, triggered infections, and stressed hearts. The fog did not need to suffocate everyone immediately. It only needed to weaken them. What makes the event structurally revealing is how ordinary the ingredients were. Coal heating was routine. Industrial output was expected. Fog was familiar. No single emission source was catastrophic on its own. The disaster emerged from scale and confinement. For decades, smoke had been treated as an inconvenience rather than a threat. Pollution was visible but normalized. The inversion merely exposed what had already been accumulating. When dispersion failed, the hidden costs surfaced all at once. The government's initial response was cautious. Officials hesitated to link deaths directly to pollution. Admitting causation implied responsibility, but mortality statistics were unambiguous. The air itself had become lethal. The Great Smog forced a recalculation. In 1956, the Clean Air Act was passed. It restricted coal burning in urban areas, promoted smokeless fuels, and relocated power stations away from population centers. The legislation did not emerge from environmental idealism. It emerged from arithmetic. The cost of inaction had become measurable. The fog that killed London was not a freak weather event. It was a feedback failure. A city optimized for industrial output had not accounted for atmospheric limits. When those limits were reached, the system did not bend gradually. It suffocated.